I was asked to do this video by Andrew Becker. It is a Killer Flicks tag. Killer Flicks is a Facebook group that I frequent, and if you want to come on over there and join, that would be awesome. That's kind of the whole point of this video, is to get more people to come over, whatever. Since he did this completely unscripted and he yelled a lot, I'm gonna fucking yell a lot, why not? All right. I have literally no idea. I just wrote down his questions. He wouldn't even give me the fucking questions. I actually had to watch this whole stupid video. I'm just kidding, it's not stupid. But I watched this whole video just to write down the questions again, because I watched it the first time and I wasn't really paying attention to like what they were completely, so that I could like write them down. And he's like, oh no, you have to go back and watch my video. And I kind of tried to look it up and I was like, oh fuck. So I had to like go, and I was fast forwarding like just to get his questions again, and fuck me. All right, let's do this. Completely unscripted, completely thought out. So I don't know, this could take an hour, could hopefully not. Number one, favorite vampire. I'm not a big fan of vampires. I've said this many times. It is my least favorite subgenre of horror. But if I'm gonna go with a favorite vampire, just off the top of my head, I can tell you the best opening of a vampire movie, which is Bram Stoker's Dracula. That crescendo, that fucking music, just a boom boom, and Gary Oldman turning around and he's just like, oh, and the blood's coming. That shit's fucking awesome. Yes. So, I mean, it's Gary Oldman, man. Who can fucking act better than Gary Oldman? Nobody. That's who. So I'm just going to go with Gary Oldman, Bram Stoker's Dracula. But that is not my favorite vampire movie. But I think that's cool. That's one hell of a fucking vampire. First horror movie I ever saw. Pretty much everybody who's ever met me or watched my channel probably knows that Halloween is the first film I saw when I was 5 years old. Got me into the shit. Fuck yeah. It's what turned me into the psychopath that I am today. Thanks, Mom. Number three, best location or setting for a horror film. I think your home. I think just a house. I personally think, like, because your home is where you're most comfortable. You know, you go home for safety, and to think that that's compromised is terrifying. Like, saying something like a scary location, like like Andrew said, like the catacombs, or in The Descent, they go down and they're spelunking and stuff like that. Shit's terrifying on its own. Okay, it doesn't even need horror to be scary. For me, that doesn't add anything to it. Like, that shit's already scary. I'm already scared there. At home is where I'm comfortable. At home is where I'm not scared. So to think that I could be terrorized in my home is fucking mortifying. So yeah, that's my answer. Number four, what is a movie that these all have like a different way. I didn't write them. I just wrote them down like this, but it's like, what killer flick? It's to promote the channel. But you know what? Killer Flicks. Go fucking check it out. Come on over. I'll approve you, whoever you are. I'll fucking approve everyone. Lunatics, come on in. I'll just delete you if you suck. Embarrassed to say I love. What's a movie that I'm embarrassed to say I love? None, because I'm not a fucking pussy. I have no guilty pleasures. I've said this a million times. I don't feel guilty for liking anything. I like this movie. Fuck you. That's my answer. But if I have to give one that would be, I guess, technically embarrassing, that I feel like everyone I talk to hates, and when I say I like it, they're like, are you out of your mind? Is Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. Not only do I like it, I fucking love it. And I think it's brilliant, and I think it was a fantastic choice for the next installment, and I think people are nuts for not liking it. Yes, if you ever want to see a fantastic video, go over to Good Bad Flicks and watch his video on it. Holy shit, that's my favorite video on YouTube. I couldn't promote a video more. Number five, based on true events. What's a killer flick based on true events, and how accurate do you think it is? Based on true events. I mean, I think Silence of the Lambs is the kind of obvious dicky answer here. So I'm a obvious dick, so I'll go with that. How accurate is it to the Ed Gein killings? Not very accurate at all. But come on, man, Silence of the Lambs is fucking amazing. How can you not love Silence of the Lambs? There's a reason that it's like the only horror movie to ever win Best Picture, because it's one of the best fucking things ever made. God, it's such a fantastic film. Number 6, what director would you like to see do horror that hasn't done horror? This is the kind of question, like, a few of these now, and I'm sure the rest are all going to be like this, where I wish I would have sat down and thought about it, because now I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to give answers, and then people are going to be like, really? And I'm going to be like 5 minutes later, I'm going to be like, I should have said this. This is a much better answer. But just know these are like really quick off the top of my head. Fuck. I don't know. Best director I'd like to see do horror that hasn't done horror, I'm guessing, obviously. I mean, Peter Jackson is somebody that I wish would return to horror now that, you know, he's done with the Middle Earth films. Oh my God, please come back to horror. Brain Dead, Bad Taste, The Frighteners, the amazing shit that guy did. Please, PJ, please come back to horror. That's a cop-out answer. Who's somebody who's done horror, who hasn't done horror? God, pretty much everyone. I mean, almost the majority of people. I'd like to see Quentin Tarantino really, like, I'd love to see Quentin Tarantino do a fucking straight-up slasher movie. And I've heard him talk about how he doesn't think he could do it because it's just not his tone and this and that. But I call bullshit. I think that he could. Death Proof, I really enjoy that movie. I know a lot of people are down on it, whatever. But I want to see him, and we might get something more in like the horror vein with his upcoming Manson movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. But I want to see him do something fucking just gruesome. And, you know, Quentin Tarantino would be my yeah, as I said, a slasher movie. He was wanting to do Friday the 13th once upon a time. Fuck, why didn't they let him do that? That would have just been so awesome. Oh, I have a couple questions here that I'm going to yet again give some bullshit answers to because I honestly don't have an answer because I'm a fucking sicko. Toughest film for me to watch. Okay, I do have an answer for this actually. Megan is Missing. That movie fucked me up for a few minutes, like maybe like 20, 30 minutes, because I have daughters and I watched that movie and I don't know, there was something about it, spoilers, whatever, but when that girl, like she sees the girl in the drum and then with the pictures where the girl has the ball gag in her mouth, and usually I don't give a fuck. Like I sat through a Serbian film like this. I really think a Serbian film's a good movie. I've seen it like 3 times and I'm just like, you know, I get why people are fucking offended and like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's a fucking crazy movie, absolutely. But, like, Megan is Missing. I don't know. Maybe I was just off that night, whatever. But for some reason, that really fucked me up. And I was just sitting there for like 20 minutes after, like, oh my God, what if that happened to my kids? What if that happened to my kids? What if that happened to my kids? I'd fucking kill everybody. Just everyone, randomly. I don't even care. I don't even care if they did it. You'd just go down the street, door to door. Okay, I wouldn't do that. Maybe. I don't know. I'd lose my damn mind. My favorite final girl. I know that somebody said, like, that isn't Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, no. It's not Jamie Lee Curtis. One off the top of my head that I love is, you know, the chick in the You're Next. I love that kind of stuff. I've written a bunch of scripts, and my final girls are always badasses that turn the fucking tables and kill everyone, and I just love that kind of stuff. So watching the girl in, you know, You're Next turn that shit around and become, you know, the hunter, and they become her prey. Spoilers, I guess. Fuck, I'm sorry. I just figured if you're a horror fan, you've seen that movie. If not, I'm sorry. But yeah, dude, just her ripping those guys apart in the blender and all that awesome shit. So I'll go with that for here. Scarred me for life. What movie scarred me for? I guess Megan is Missing will be my answer again. I just feel like that whole thing, I've went over it enough. So we're just going to go past that. Best soundtrack. I'm guessing they're not meaning score, because score would be Halloween. Soundtrack, Jesus Christ. Wow. I don't know. Okay. One movie I just adore, and I love some of the songs from, is Slumber Party Massacre 2. I wanna be your Tokyo convertible. I wanna make love with you. And then, like, you know, the song he sings when he's coming down the Let's Buzz. I love that shit, man. I could listen to that stuff all day, so I'm gonna go with that. There's a fucking answer I bet no one gave. But like stuff like Rocktober Blood or any of like the big, like Hard Rock Zombies or any of the musical horror movies of the 80s. There's a ton of those kinds of things. Black Roses, for instance, or Trick or Treat. Those are going to be obvious answers, and I totally understand giving those answers. Black Roses is awesome. My mother's boyfriend, when I was growing up, he was basically my stepfather. He was in a band called King Cobra, and they did songs on Black Roses. They're a poster on Grady's wall in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You can clearly see him on the poster. So it was always like, anytime I watch the movie, I always have to be like, hey, that guy lived with us for 9 years and used to bang my mom. Fun thing to tell people. Best kill in a horror movie. I think my just initial quick answer, without thinking about it, one of the ones that just, I don't know what it was. When I saw it, I just laughed out loud. I thought it was the greatest fucking thing ever. And I apologize for this being such an obvious answer. But the liquid nitrogen face smash kill in Jason X. It just, that shit, I don't know what it was about that. But when he put her face in the shit and her face froze and he pulled her out, there was just this moment of like, oh my God, I hope he crushes her head now. Like, Terminator 2, shooting the guy, fucking blowing up thing. I was just like, oh, no way, they're not going to do it. And then you just, boom, like so many kills in that movie are amazing. But I don't know, that one's always stuck out for me. Greatest performance in a horror movie. That would go back to like Silence of the Lambs with Buffalo Bill. I think that he's the most overshadowed performance of all time, because when people bring up that movie, they always talk about Anthony Hopkins, which he's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but they are taking away from Ted Levine's fucking genius in that movie. Like, when you reenact scenes from that movie, when you talk about scenes from that movie, 90% of the time it's about Buffalo Bill. Like, yes, you'll quote like, hello Clarice, which isn't even a line, that's from the Cable Guy. He doesn't even say that in the movie. Doesn't matter. But Levine is incredible. More recently, though, Essie Davis in The Babadook, holy fuck, that performance is phenomenal. Like, award-winning shit. So for female, I'll go with her, and for male, I'll go with Ted Levine. Location I'd like to visit, easy, the lighthouse from The Fog. That is on my bucket list of movies. I did a whole video where I went and visited all these locations in California. You can see it. It's under like Sinister Cinema goes on the road to visit famous horror locations or something for like 1,000 subscribers. That's what I did. I went down. And it's a really fun time. I saw Myers House and everything you can imagine that's in California. And a movie where I sympathize with the killer. Oh, fuck. This is yet another one where I wish I would have thought through it before I recorded this. Shit. Oh, man. I know I would have a good answer for this, too, if I would have fucking taken a minute. Damn it. Oh, I don't want to... Shit. I don't know. Guys. Leatherface is definitely one for sure, because I feel like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, he's just protecting his house, and he's been pushed by his family, and he's just literally, he's obviously like not all there. So I do feel bad for him. Oh God, I know I'm gonna like kick myself. I'll probably like write in the comments like, hey, this is the person I should have said. Because there are some that I've watched the movies and I'm like, man, I feel really fucking bad for this guy. And it's usually during those movies where you're watching them and you're like, wow, everyone in this movie's a fucking asshole, and I'm glad that they're dying, and I hope that he kills them. Wow, they were so shitty to him. There's plenty of these revenge horror movies. Like, every slasher movie is always about revenge. And some of them, I'm like, yeah, I totally understand where he's coming from. Fuck these people. So that's it. All right. I don't know if I'll tag anyone for this, but there you go, man. I did it. So you can't say I didn't. Next time I should probably think about it before. All right, guys.